Good evening, friends, and warm wishes to you all on this first day of October 2025. This is Santa Claus, coming to you with today's news as autumn settles in across the northern hemisphere and preparations begin at the North Pole for our busiest season. I must share with heavy heart that our American friends are facing troubling times as the government has shut down many of its operations today. Around 750,000 federal workers are being furloughed at a cost of $400 million daily. My heart goes out to those families who now face uncertainty about their paychecks. As J.J. Vance noted on television, even air travelers may experience delays as TSA agents and air traffic controllers work without pay. In this season of division, I pray our leaders might find the spirit of compromise, setting aside election posturing to remember that behind every policy debate are real people with real needs. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, European Union leaders have gathered in Copenhagen to discuss creating a drone wall to protect their nations from what many believe are Russian airspace violations. Finnish Prime Minister Petteri Orpo expressed concern about what Denmark's Prime Minister Frederiksen described as a hybrid war against Europe. In these tense times, I'm reminded that peace requires vigilance, but also dialogue and understanding. And with sadness, I must report that the joyful Oktoberfest celebrations in Munich will remain closed until at least late afternoon today after police discovered explosives in a residential building. One person has tragically lost their life. Let us pray for Munich's safety and for all those affected by this troubling event. Turning our attention to the Middle East, my heart breaks for the continuing suffering in Gaza, where Israeli strikes have claimed at least 16 more Palestinian lives today, including those who had sought refuge in a school and others gathered around a water tank. Meanwhile, both Egypt and Qatar have indicated that President Trump's 20-point peace proposal requires further negotiation. The plan aims to end the nearly two-year war, but does not include a path to Palestinian statehood. How I wish for the gift of peace for all children in this troubled region. In related news, President Trump has signed an executive order pledging to defend Qatar, even with military action if necessary, following Israel's recent strikes targeting Hamas leaders in that country. This complex situation reminds us how interconnected our world has become. On a more hopeful note, there's progress in healthcare as Pfizer has reached an agreement with President Trump to lower prescription drug prices in the Medicaid program to match what it charges in other developed nations. This could bring relief to many Americans who struggle to afford their medications. The company will also offer this pricing on all new drugs launched in the United States, with other manufacturers expected to follow suit. Remember, my friends, caring for the sick is one of our most sacred duties. In Greece today, a nationwide strike has halted trains, ferries, and taxis as workers protest proposed labor reforms that would allow employers to extend working hours to 13 per day. Thousands marched to Parliament, including teachers and seafarers. In these matters, I pray for solutions that respect both the dignity of workers and the needs of businesses. With hope in my heart, I note that the UN Security Council has voted to significantly strengthen the multinational force combating gang violence in Haiti. The new gang suppression force can now deploy up to 5,500 uniformed personnel, expanding from the current 1,000 officers. May this bring greater safety to Haiti's communities who have suffered for too long. In Afghanistan, the Taliban has imposed a nationwide communications blackout, cutting internet and telecommunications to less than 1% of normal levels. The United Nations has called for immediate restoration of these services, warning this isolation threatens economic stability and worsens an already dire humanitarian crisis. Flights have been cancelled, banking systems frozen, and families separated from loved ones abroad. Let us remember those who live in darkness and pray for light to return. From China comes news that the Communist Party has replaced Liu Jianchao as head of its Foreign Relations Department. Liu was reportedly detained in July and is under investigation for alleged corruption. This follows last year's sudden removal of Foreign Minister Qin Gang. Such developments remind us of the importance of transparency and accountability in governance around the world. Finally, on a gentler note, the Japanese city of Tohoku has implemented an ordinance recommending residents limit their use of smartphones, tablets, and computers to just 2 hours daily outside of work and school. Mayor Masafumi Kuki hopes this will encourage citizens to spend more time with family and get more rest. Though the measure carries no penalties, it reminds us all of the importance of human connection in this digital age. Perhaps this holiday season, we might all benefit from putting down our devices to share stories and laughter with those we love. As we navigate these challenging times together, let us remember that even in darkness, compassion and kindness can light the way forward. This is Santa Claus, wishing you peace and goodwill until we meet again.